back to the Electron Devices and Circuits video lecture series part 2 of first topic PN junction diode structure, operation and characteristics. At the end of this video you will be able to understand what is PN diode, symbol and its equivalent circuit, what do you mean by biased diode, types of biasing, its operation and its characteristics, and forward and reverse resistance existing in the diode, and different types of breakdowns in the diode, and finally VI characteristics equations of diode. We will see these topics one by one. First one is the PN diode. So PN diode symbol. So when you look into this diode symbol, it will be like this. So one triangle followed by one vertical line, and both the things enclosed inside a circle, and one terminal taken from triangle side and another terminal taken from vertical line side, and these two terminals are acting as two electrodes. Normally this triangle side, this flat end is normally P type, and this vertical end is normally an N type, and this is the anode. The one terminal taken from the diode is acting as an anode terminal. That means normally this flat end terminal is acting as an anode, and curved end terminal, when you look into the practical diode you will understand that the curved terminal is acting as a cathode. Anode is represented by A having positive polarity, and cathode is represented by K having negative polarity. And this diode allows the current to flow only in one direction. It is a unidirectional device. It is also an two-terminal device. So unidirectional current usually flows from anode terminal towards the cathode terminal. And when you convert this diode to its equivalent circuit, it will be like this. So here, as I already informed in the previous video, as soon as a depletion layer will be created, it acts as an insulating layer. It does not permit the further movement of charge carriers across the junction. It is acting as a resistive layer or barrier layer. So that is represented, that layer is represented by the resistance R suffix F. F stands for forward resistance, forward. And at the same time, some potential is existing in the PN diode. That potential we call it as an inbuilt potential, which is also called as junction potential or barrier potential or cutting potential or cutting voltage. So that is represented by V0. And due to the presence of diode, so this diode is simply acting as a switch. So it will conduct only, it will work only in forward bias. In the forward bias condition, it acts as a closed switch. That means it is represented by connecting lines here. And this diode allows the current to flow only in one direction. So this current direction is represented from plus terminal towards negative terminal. And this I stands for current and F stands for forward current. And when you tap the potential between the positive and negative terminal, we will get the full forward voltage across the diode, that is Vf. Don't confuse with this Vf and this V0. This V0 is barrier potential and this Vf is forward potential across the diode. Okay? And this is the real symbol of a diode. That is when you purchase a diode from a shop, you will get the diode. You will see the diode like this. One end is having a flat end and another end you are having a ring that is called as a curved end. This end is curved end and this end is flat end. Flat end is usually an anode terminal, and this curved end is usually a cathode terminal represented by negative sign. So keep two things in mind with respect to diode. Diode is a two-terminal device. It acts as a switch. Mainly, it is used only in forward biased condition. Under forward biased condition, it acts as a closed switch. Is it right? And the next one is biasing. So biasing, it is one of the important topic in the diode. Biasing in the sense, as we already discussed in the previous video, we have discussed about unbiased PN junction. Unbiased in the sense, no external voltage is applied to the diode. Whereas here we are going to discuss about biasing and biased diode. Biasing in the sense the application of external DC voltage to the diode in order to bring the diode to its conducting stage, that is called biasing. And due to the presence of biasing, the current starts to flows in the diode from anode to cathode. And what is the purpose of biasing? That is the need for biasing. So the need for biasing is, so this is the need for biasing. Biasing need is to control the width of depletion layer. If you want to increase or to decrease the width of the depletion layer, and in order to bring the device for conduction according to our requirement, we need to provide bias. And to control the resistance, once if the bias is given, the resistance existing across the depletion region also can be varied. So in order to do that also, we have to give bias. And the third one is, once if the depletion region and internal resistance, everything is varied, the current flowing through the device also gets varied. So in order to control the current also, we need to go for biasing. So any device without biasing, it is useless. So in order to bring to its proper activation, we need to give biasing to the device. What are the different types of bias existing in a diode? Normally there are two types of bias. One is forward bias and another one is reverse bias. Forward bias connection, how it will be? So forward bias, this is the forward bias connection. You know, this is the representation of PN diode, P type, N type, and this is junction, and this is electrode, right? When P type electrode is connected to positive terminal of the battery, right, and N type is grounded, or when P type is grounded and N type is connected to negative terminal of the battery, and this connection is called forward bias connection. We can follow any one of this, right? We can follow any one of this. Instead of grounding, while we are giving a voltage supply, instead of grounding, we can connect this to opposite polarity. So this ground and this ground are interconnected. So when P type is connected to positive and N type is connected to negative, we can use the diode under forward bias condition. Similarly, reverse bias. So reverse bias in the sense P type. P type is majority carriers is holes. Holes is positive charge. So when here we are giving reverse bias. That means when P type is connected to ground or otherwise, that means these two ground are internally connected. When P type is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N type semiconductor connected to positive terminal of the battery, we are giving the connection in a reverse manner. That means P type majority carriers holes having positive charge, but that is connected to the negative terminal, and N type semiconductor having majority carriers electrons having a negative charge, but that is connected to positive terminal. We are doing it in a reverse way. So this type of connection we call it as an reverse bias connection. Whereas in forward bias, we are doing it in a same polarity. P type having majority carriers holes positive charges connected to positive terminal. N type negative charges connected to negative terminal. We are doing it in a same way. So this is forward bias and this is reverse bias. And the next one is forward bias operation. This forward and reverse bias operation is very simple. You know the structure already. This is an diode structure. This is the diode structure and this is P region. See here, and this is P region. Wait a minute. See, this is a P region having majority charge carriers as holes, and this is N region having majority charge carriers as electrons, and we are providing forward bias. So P region connected to positive terminal of battery, N region connected to negative terminal of the battery, and this is the forward bias connection. As soon as the forward bias voltage is given, normally we are considering this as 5 volt. and we are increasing the voltage from 0 volt to 5 volt, what happens internally? So here we are increasing the voltage. So what happens here? Here majority charge carriers holes connected to positive terminal of the battery. Both the charges are like charges, so repulsion will be there. So due to the repulsion, this hole starts to move towards end region. And similarly on this side, this is connected to negative terminal having negative charges, and similarly end region majority charge carriers is electrons. Similarly here also the repulsion will be there. So all the electrons starts to move towards the p region. So p region represented by blue color, and those electrons starts to move towards p region represented by blue arrow, and p region represented by orange color, and all the holes starts to move towards n region represented by orange arrowhead, right? So this is the way. So initially this charge carriers initially at the starting it will not start to move. This is because due to the presence of depletion region. So this depletion region does not permit the movement of charge carriers across the junction. So initially what we are doing means we are increasing the voltage. We are applying 0 volt and then we are applying 0.1 volt. Still charge carriers are not moving. And then 0.2 volt still not moving. 0.3, 0.4 like that we are increasing. Here we are using a silicon diode, silicon based diode. Its cutting potential is 0.7 volt. That means once if the forward voltage is greater than 0.7 volt, then only it will start to permit the movement of charge carriers across the junction. So while increasing the voltage, and when its voltage crosses 0.7 volt, depletion region gets overcome by the movement of charge carriers. So this hole starts move here, and this electron starts to move here, and they are attracted towards the opposite terminal of the battery on either side. So the circuit is closed, so this current continues to flow around the circle, around this closed loop. When the input voltage is increased, still the charge carriers movement is increased. Now more number of charge carriers acquires external energy from this voltage, and now the charge carriers also starts to move across the junction. So by increasing the voltage step by step, more and more number of electrons in the innermost orbit of an atom also acquires enough energy, and it gets jump into the outermost orbit and becomes responsible for conduction that we have discussed already. So because of that only the current flowing through the diode increases. When normally the current is flowing from anode terminal towards the cathode terminal, because anode terminal towards cathode terminal, see here current is flowing from anode terminal towards the cathode terminal in this current. So this current is by holes or electrons, right? This current is by holes or electrons. This current is, this direction is same as that of orange arrowhead. Orange arrowhead is due to holes movement. So this current is due to the movement of holes. That is the convectional current direction we are assuming, but the actual current direction is due to the movement of electrons. While analyzing the circuit and all, we are using an arrowhead. So that arrowhead represents the direction of movement of holes only. It's not electrons. Right, like that. So this is the forward biased circuit. Forward biased voltage we are giving. ID is the diode current, and while forward bias, maximum current will flow, and this is the diode in forward bias. See here, anode connected to plus, cathode connected to negative terminal of battery, and this is the internal resistance. And why this is represented like this means this is a forward bias condition. Forward bias condition, it acts as a closed switch. That's why it is represented like this. And the total voltage drop across the PN junction is given by, when you tap the voltage across this circuit, when you tap across these two terminals from here to here, total voltage is this potential, barrier potential, the supply voltage is Vf, right? And this is barrier potential, and you are having a resistance. So current is flowing in this direction. So entering is positive, leaving is negative. So this is drop. And again this is, we are analyzing the circuit in this direction, so this is rise and this is drop. And again across the diode also some potential is existing, that is called barrier potential VB. So sum of rise is equal to sum of drop. So we can say this is nothing but Vf represented here, and this Vf is equal to Vb plus If in. The total forward voltage across the diode is given by Vf is equal to Vb plus IfRf. Vb is barrier potential as I told you, and IfRf is the voltage drop across the resistance R. And since this drop, this is internal resistance is very small under forward biased condition, the drop across that resistance is considered to be very least and it is negligible approximately. So we can say that forward voltage Vf is approximately equal to minus Vb. Why it is minus Vb means this is rise and this is drop. So in order to represent the drop, we are representing that by negative sign. And the next is the effect of forward bias. So what is the effects of forward bias? So forward bias in the sense, while giving forward bias, what all the things happen means, due to forward bias, the depletion layer width will get decreases, because after 0.7 cut-in voltage, the electrons and holes, that is charge carrier, starts to move on the either side towards the opposite terminal of the battery. So the depletion layer automatically decreases and forward current increases. Since the charge carrier starts to move, the current starts to increase. And the diode is acting as a closed switch, we know already, and forward resistance decreases. Since current increases, automatically forward resistance decreases. So these are all the effects of forward bias. And the next one is reverse bias. So in the reverse bias, the things happens in a reverse manner. It's nothing but the p-type of the semiconductor, that is diode, is connected to the negative terminal of battery, and n-type semiconductor is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Initially some depletion layer will be there, and as soon as the reverse bias voltage is applied, here negative terminal, majority charge carriers, here in p-type is holes. So this holes positive charge, battery terminal negative, so opposite charges. So all majority charge carriers starts to move towards the negative terminal of the battery. So that means, so this electrons starts to, that is holes starts to move towards the negative terminal of the battery. And similarly on this side, on n-type, majority charge carriers is electrons, negative charge, and connected to positive terminal. So negative charge, positive terminal, opposite terminals, so opposite charges, so attraction will be there. So electrons starts to move towards the positive terminal of the battery. Once if the charge carriers starts to move away from this semiconductor, what happens here? Again, this region will be, some region will be completely occupied by immobile charge carriers. Similarly, some region will be occupied by the immobile charge carriers, because all mobile charge carriers are moving towards the opposite terminal of the battery. So as a result, what happen means depletion layer width increases. We know that depletion layer will be normally created by dipole formations. So dipole in the sense, the region formed by immobile ions, pair of ions, positive and negative ions. So since the charge carriers are moving away from the junction due to reverse bias voltage, so depletion layer width tends to increases. So this is the thing that is happening under the reverse bias. Since the depletion layer width increases, so depletion layer is acting as a resistive layer. Its width increases means resistance increases. So resistance increases means whether it will allow the current to flow? No, it will not allow the current to flow. So it is acting as a open switch. If the current is not flowing in any closed circuit, we can call this as an open switch, open circuit. So the current is not flowing. So these are all the effects here. The depletion layer width increases, reverse current decreases. That I will tell you. Diode acts as an open switch. So reverse resistance also increases. So now you think of here the majority carriers is holes, and what about the minority carriers? Minority carriers is electrons. Those electrons are under the repulsion of this negative terminal of the battery on P side, and similarly on the N side minority carriers are holes, and those holes are under the repulsion of positive terminal of the battery. Those minority carriers tends to cross the depletion region. But due to majority carriers, the depletion region width is getting on increasing and increasing. So the current contributed by the minority carriers will be very, very less. The current flowing under reverse bias condition is only due to minority carriers. That minority carrier current is very, very less, and at the same time this minority carriers does not have any effect on this battery. Either we are increasing the battery, or if we are decreasing the supply voltage, those minority carriers remains constant. Initially it tries to increase, but after some time it remains constant. So that we call it as an reverse current. So the reverse current decreases. So it is in the terms of very, very small amount. So it is in terms of microamperes or nanoamperes. And this is the circuit for reverse bias condition. Negative terminal connected to anode, positive terminal of battery connected to cathode. So current is flowing in the reverse direction. Normally the current flows from positive terminal towards negative terminal, because we are considering conventional current. So the current direction is represented in this direction, and normally this voltage, applied voltage, is nothing but the voltage drop across the diode, because drop across this internal resistance is assumed to be negligible again. So this is the operation under reverse bias. And the next is the characteristics of diode, VI characteristics of diode. Why it is called VI characteristics? In the sense, we are taking voltage on the x-axis and current on the y-axis, and we are plotting the performance of the diode under forward bias and reverse bias. So this is the characteristics, VI characteristics of diode. See here, forward voltage, forward current. Since forward voltage is positive, forward current is unidirectional from anode to cathode, it is assumed to be positive. So this characteristics is the forward characteristics plotted in first quadrant. And when you are considering reverse bias, so reverse bias in the sense, potential is negative potential we are giving, so voltage is negative, and current is also flowing in the opposite direction, the current is also negative. So this characteristics is plotted in third quadrant. Voltage is positive, current is negative. By default, voltage is always taken on x-axis, current is always taken on y-axis. So we see the characteristics here. Initially under forward bias condition, it acts as a closed switch. Initially, by increasing the forward voltage, the current starts to increase. Its current starts to increase. Till this voltage, the current is increasing very meager amount, very less amount. And this voltage is called cut-in voltage. I said that we are using silicon diode. Cut-in voltage is 0.7 volt. Once when the cut-in voltage is 0.7 is reached, and after that, whatever may be the increase in voltage, the current flowing through the diode increases exponentially. So this is the current. So at this instant of time, what is the voltage means? This is the voltage. And what is the current? The current is, extend this line to touch the characteristics, and from that touching point draw a line horizontally, and this represents the current magnitude. So at this particular value of voltage, this is the current magnitude. So when you increase the voltage, the current also starts to increase exponentially. And the point at which the diode starts to conduct is called as an Knee point or Knee voltage. So this is the Knee voltage. What is the value of Knee voltage? This is 0.7 volt for silicon diode and 0.3 volt for germanium diode. This is the Knee voltage. This is some important definition in 2 marks. And then that's all about the forward characteristics. Coming on to the reverse characteristics. The reverse characteristic, as I already said, reverse bias, it acts as an open switch. It will not allow the current to flow through it. Current flowing through the diode under reverse bias is only due to minority charge carriers. That current is called reverse saturation current or reverse leakage current. That current is very, very small. See here, when I am increasing the reverse voltage in this direction, initially the current is increasing to some extent, and after that it remains constant. This is because minority carriers are dependent only on external temperature, not on external voltage. So the minority carriers remains constant, current remains constant. So how long we can able to increase the reverse voltage? What happens when we increase the reverse voltage? Depletion region is getting on increasing, but how long it will get increased? There is some limit, no? So while increasing the reverse voltage at a particular point is reached, called as a peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage is the safe value of reverse voltage that can be applied to the diode without causing any damage to the diode. Right, that the voltage is called peak inverse voltage. See here, maximum reverse voltage that can be applied to the PN junction without damage to the junction is called peak voltage. So we can able to increase the reverse voltage till peak inverse value. And if we attempt to increase beyond this, what happens? So if we increase the voltage, assume here this is the peak inverse voltage, this is peak PIV, this is peak inverse voltage. If we increase the voltage beyond this value, the PN junction is said to be breakdown. So permanent damage will happen in the PN junction. So at this time what happens means, if the reverse voltage is very very high, that means the atoms present in the p-type and n-type semiconductor is not possible enough to retain in the crystalline structure. So the crystalline structure gets breakdown. So once the crystalline structure breaks down means all the electrons that is present in the orbit comes out of the orbit and becomes free electrons, and almost all electrons is responsible for conduction. Now the current starts to increase drastically. See here, at this particular voltage the current increasing drastically. See here, this sloped line, right? The current increases drastically from this point to this point. See here, we are increasing the voltage only up to this much, and see what happens to the current. We are increasing the current till this range. So this is not allowable. So we should not increase the reverse voltage beyond the peak inverse voltage. If we increase, what happens? The diode will goes to permanent damage. We can't able to reuse the diode again. So that is the outcome from this reverse bias. So this reverse breakdown voltage is definition as the reverse voltage at which the diode reverse current increases rapidly. Reverse current is IF. Forward current is, reverse current is IR. Forward current is IF. So the voltage at which the reverse current increases rapidly is called breakdown voltage. Right? And one more definition is a leakage current I0 and reverse saturation current that we discussed. So reverse saturation current is, this is the magnitude of reverse saturation current. See here, let me use another color, and this is the reverse saturation current. Right? This range is nothing but I0, leakage current, or otherwise reverse saturation current I0. Right? So these are all the getaways from characteristics. By plotting the characteristic, what are all the things you need to explain? Knee voltage means what? Leakage current means what? Peak inverse voltage means what? Reverse breakdown means what? All the things you need to explain while explaining this topic. Got it? The next topic is the resistance in diode. Normally when you consider resistance, there are two types of resistance that exist in a diode. One is forward resistance and another one is reverse resistance. Forward resistance is nothing but the resistance existing in the diode when it is operating under forward bias condition. The resistance in forward bias condition is called diode forward resistance. And this diode forward resistance can again be classified into two types. One is static forward resistance and another one is dynamic forward resistance. Static forward resistance, in the sense, it is represented by capital R suffix small f. The forward resistance in the PN junction when it is used under AC operation, when it is used under DC operation. That means when the diode is used in a DC circuit, the resistance offered by the diode is called static forward resistance. Right? Similarly, dynamic. Static in the sense it remains stationary. Dynamic in the sense it is varying with respect to time. You know that DC signal is a static signal. Whatever may be the time instant, it remains constant. Whereas dynamic, sinusoidal signal is an AC signal. It is dynamic in nature. At each and every instant of time, the amplitude of voltage or current is varying. That is dynamic signal. When the diode is used under AC circuits, the resistance offered by the diode is called as an dynamic resistance, and when it is used under forward bias, it is called dynamic forward resistance. It is represented by small r suffix f. We can say that this for dynamic resistance can also be the reciprocal of slope of forward characteristics. That means you know how to plot the forward characteristics. From that characteristics, if you take the slope, and when you get reciprocal of that slope, you will get nothing but dynamic forward resistance. We will see how you can able to get it. So when you consider the static forward resistance, it is nothing but, for example, if you are considering a point A in this characteristics, look at this characteristics. Consider a point A here. This is one particular value of forward voltage. This is forward voltage. When you draw a vertical line, it touches the forward characteristics at the point E, and the corresponding current is C. So this OC is the current at the point E, and OA is the voltage, applied voltage. For this much value of applied voltage, this much is the current. So the resistance, static resistance, is given by voltage by current. Here voltage is represented by OA. So OA divided by current is OC. So OA divided by OC value gives the static forward resistance at the point E. Similarly, dynamic resistance. Dynamic resistance means, as I already informed, it needs 2 points. So we have to take 2 points, point E and point F on the characteristics. That means from point A to B on x-axis. So how much will be the value of dynamic resistance from point A to B, we need to calculate. So for that, you draw again a 2 vertical line from point A and point B. It touches the characteristics at E and F respectively, and you extend it horizontally from that point. You will get the points C and D. So in this point, from point A to B, so this portion is called change in voltage. That means we are varying the voltage, forward voltage, from point A to point B. So change in forward voltage is represented by del Vf, and change in forward current. So how this much will be the value of voltage, for this much will be the value of current. So this change in current is given by del F. So if we take the slope of this can also be obtained by slope of reverse, that is slope of the forward characteristics. When you take a slope here at the touching at this point E, this is the slope line. If you get a slope like this, so this is dy and this is dx. This is dy means in the sense del IF. So when you take the slope, slope is nothing but dy by dx del IF divided by del VF. See here, del IF divided by del VF, this is the slope. When you take the reciprocal of the slope, you will get this value. So this value is nothing but V divided by I. Change in voltage divided by change in current. This is nothing but the dynamic resistance. So dynamic resistance is simply, it's a variable resistance. In order to find that, we need to consider portion of characteristics. So for that, we have considered the point of voltage from A to B. Whereas static resistance is, we have to consider at only one point in the x-axis, that is point A. So this is forward resistance in diode. Similarly, reverse resistance is, the reverse resistance is resistance offered by the diode under reverse bias condition, is called reverse resistance. So right, that too under reverse bias, if this diode is used for DC condition, it is called static reverse resistance, and if it is used for AC condition, we call it as dynamic reverse resistance. This is similar to forward resistance. Whereas we have to consider this with respect to reverse characteristics, that's all. So RS, this reverse resistance is nothing but reverse voltage by reverse current, whereas capital R suffix small r. So this is not capital R, this is small r suffix small r. Small r suffix small r. This is change in reverse voltage by change in reverse current. So this is similarly what we have did for forward resistance. See here we have considered change in voltage because it is a variable quantity, a dynamic parameter. So we have considered change in voltage, change in current. Similarly here also change in reverse voltage, change in reverse current. Right, the concept wise both are same only. So these are all the two resistance that is existing in the diode. See, and the next is the reverse breakdown mechanism in the diodes. So while discussing about the characteristics, as I already informed you that once if the reverse voltage is increased beyond a particular value of peak inverse voltage, there may be sudden rise in the current flow, and the that is diode is said to be in breakdown condition. So how it is happening? What is happening internally? That is the different types of breakdowns. Hope you might have already have some awareness about this because you have studied this in your schoolings itself. Normally there are two types of breakdowns. One is Zener breakdown and another one is avalanche breakdown. So Zener breakdown occurs in which type of diodes? Means it occurs only in heavily doped PN diodes. That means if the charge carriers accumulation is very high in a diode, those diodes are called as an heavily doped diodes. That means impurity atoms will be very high. So under that condition only the Zener breakdown will occur. It was invented by the scientist Zener, hence the name Zener breakdown. So actually how it is happening means if the reverse voltage increases, what happens? Reverse voltage increases means the electric field that is applying to the PN junction diode also increases. So once if the electric field increases, because of that external electric field, the covalent bonds existing inside the crystal structure gets breakdown. So once if the crystalline structure collapses, all the electrons comes out of the crystalline structure and becomes a free electron. All those electrons are responsible for current conduction. So current flow increases drastically. This large current flow results in breakdowns of a diode, because once if the crystal structure get collapsed means the atoms will not exist. So semiconductor will not exist. So entire diode will not exist. So diode is said to be in breakdown condition. So this is Zener breakdown. And the next one is avalanche breakdown. Avalanche breakdown occurs in case of lightly doped diodes. It was invented by the scientist Avalanche, hence the name avalanche breakdown. Here what is happening means if VR increases, it's depending on the kinetic energy associated with the electron. Kinetic energy half mv square, you know. If a reverse voltage increases, due to the strength of reverse voltage, the velocity of the electrons, minority charge carriers, reverse voltage minority charge carriers increases. So the kinetic energy associated with velocity increases means kinetic energy formula half mv square. If v increases, kinetic energy also increases. So kinetic energy associated with the majority carriers increases. So what happens means, so these carriers, what happens, kinetic energy increases means it's moving at a faster velocity. So while it is moving at a faster velocity, it collides with other atoms in the other atom in its neighbor. So while it is hitting other atoms, it breaks the covalent bonds of those atoms also, and some more electrons are coming out. So all those electrons are now under the external electric field only. So those electrons that newly come out from the atoms also acquire additional kinetic energy, and it again starts to collide with another atoms. So like that, this process is a cumulative process, and it hits, while it is hitting another atoms, more number of electrons are coming out, and all those electrons moves in a random direction, and as a result of it, large number of additional electron hole pairs generated. Because of this collision, covalent bonds will get breakdown, and more large number of electrons and holes pairs will get generated. So those also acquire additional energy, again it collides, again more electrons coming out. So this process is cumulative. So as a result of this, at one instant of time, the current flowing through the diode increases rapidly. So whereas this effect is called as an avalanche effect. So there is one main difference between Zener effect and avalanche effect. Zener effect, since it occurs in heavily doped diode, current flowing increases drastically. At once if the diode gets breakdown, current increases drastically. Whereas in case of avalanche effect or avalanche breakdown, current increases slowly. This is because one atom has to go and hit with another atom, then only some more electrons will come out, and those electrons has to go and hit with another atoms, then only some more electrons still will come out. Like that, this is a cumulative process. It takes some time for large amount of currents to flow. Hence this is an slow process, we can say. So the current flowing through the diode increases slowly. So this is the difference between the Zener effect and avalanche effect. And the next one, last topic is the VI characteristic equation. So this is one of the important equation. So we have discussed about VI characteristics. So how this characteristics behaves, right? Like that, if we govern that in one equation, that is called VI characteristic equation. This equation tells how diode will behave in forward bias and reverse bias condition. Right. So this equation is given by I equal to I naught into e to the exponential of v divided by eta vt minus 1. So only this term is in exponential and minus 1 is in base, right? E to the power this factor minus 1 amperes, where I is the diode current, I naught is reverse saturation current at room temperature, V is applied voltage, and eta is a constant, that is 1 for value is 1 for germanium diode and 2 for silicon diode, and Vt is voltage equivalent of temperature, that is given by, again Vt is equal to K into T. K is the temperature, T is the temperature, and K is the Boltzmann constant, that is given by this value. According to the temperature in Kelvin, by multiplying this constant we will get Vt. Further, Vt is also constant, eta is also constant. V is a forward voltage or reverse voltage, whereas I naught is a constant. So since all the parameters here are constant, only variable parameter is V and I. So simply by varying the forward voltage, the current is forward current. Simply by varying the reverse voltage, the current is reverse current. By getting this voltage and current value, we can able to plot the characteristics. Right, so this is the way how to calculate the Vt. If temperature is 27 degree centigrade plus 273, you will get it in Kelvin. So this 300 multiplied by this value, you will get the Vt. So substituting the Vt in this equation, you will get current value. And this equation is holds good for unbiased diode, forward biased diode, and reverse biased diode. For unbiased, voltage is not given, so V equal to 0. So e to the power 0 is 1. So 1 minus 1, 0, current is 0. That is given here. So for forward or reverse bias, according to the value of the voltage we are giving, the current is varying. If you are giving forward voltage, current is positive. If you are giving reverse voltage, if exponential to the power is minus, you will get the current also in minus. So like this way, by using this equation alone, we can able to plot the characteristics of a diode itself. Theoretically, this is theoretical, and whereas whatever the characteristic we have discussed earlier, that is practical way of plotting the characteristics. Right.